Now, the next thing you want to do is create an online presence that's entirely geared around that niche. So, if you are going to be writing in the spirituality and self help space, your website, your portfolio, and your LinkedIn profile has to be completely geared towards somebody who would hire you for that role. You want your ideal client to come across your profiles wherever it is, whether it's your LinkedIn profile, your Instagram, your website, your portfolio, and look at your work and say, yes, I know she can do that. Because the most compelling things for clients is to see that you've done work that is similar for other people out there, and they know immediately that they're not going to have to spend a lot of time training you. A lot of people are just sitting there so unsure about whether or not you can do the job, but when they see the work for themselves, they're more inclined to give you a chance, either respond to your cold pitch or reach out to you first. I'm Christine. I'm a former 9-to-5 salesperson turned freelance copywriter, and now I teach other aspiring writers how to get on LinkedIn and land high-paying freelance clients. If you have been dreaming of making a full-time living as a writer with no boss, no commute, no office politics, then keep watching. So I'll give you like a very quick breakdown, even though I have so many videos on how to do each one of these on my YouTube channel, which I'll link to down below. But to create a website, all you need is a hosting platform and a website builder. Now, keep this in mind. I did not know anything about building a website. I had never built a website before I decided to become a freelance copywriter. So I went to Bluehost and purchased like a year-long domain. I registered my full name.com, christinegamoka.com. Then I chose Weebly as my website builder and I connected those two, right? So Bluehost is what I pay to have christinegamoka.com registered to me, but Weebly is the site that I use to build the actual website. And the reason I chose Weebly was because, quite honestly, I was between that and Square, and I couldn't figure out Square, and I definitely could not figure out WordPress. So that's just anecdotal experience from somebody who genuinely had no idea how to create a website. I found Weebly was the only one that really accommodated an absolute beginner. It had the drag and drop interface. So of course, that was years ago. And I think that if you wanted to have like a really nice website, Square might be the best. But with freelance copywriting, it doesn't necessarily matter what your website looks like because you're not marketing like graphic design and aesthetic services. You are a words person. As long as the person can understand, as long as the client on the other end can understand what they're going to get from you by reading your site, it does not have to be super pretty or professional. The most professional it has to be is you're registering your domain. So you will look so much more professional if you have, spiritualwriter.com versus spiritualwriter.wix.weebly, because when you don't pay for a domain, you don't get, yourname.com. Another really common question I get is how do I create a domain name? Because it seems like a bit of a commitment. You're paying for this name and it's permanent. That is why I chose christinegamoka.com, because when I first got started as a freelance copywriter and I was looking at all the YouTube videos and step by step following these processes, I had no idea if I was going to stick with tech. I did not know where any of this would lead. I literally just took a chance. So I said, the one thing that's not going to change is my name. So let me just stick with that for the time being. And that suffices. And even my email domain is at christinegamoka.com. It's very simple. And it really saved me a lot of back and forth about trying to find the perfect name, the perfect website name or business name. So portfolio pieces, this is another huge topic because people are like, well, I've never worked for somebody. How do I get a portfolio piece? And I don't have a portfolio piece. So how do I work for someone? It's like seriously very confusing. I think this exact step is what kept me so stuck, even though I knew I wanted to try online writing. I was like, well, how is anyone going to hire me? I don't have a portfolio. So check the video right here about how to create a portfolio from scratch, even if you have no experience. It is 100% possible to create a compelling portfolio that clients want to hire you based on, even though you have no experience. You're just going to create them yourself, and it's super simple and it's free. Along with your website domain, you're going to want to purchase your email domain. Like I said before, my email is my name at christinegamoka.com, not blah, blah, blah at Gmail. Again, this is not make or break, but if you're really trying to establish yourself and make yourself look professional, the best thing you can do is set yourself up to look like a business. If you want other businesses to trust you and exchange business services with you and pay you a high rate, you have to present yourself in the most professional light possible simply to build trust. Just you personally, would you really want to be doing business or buying a product from somebody who had a Gmail email address? No, right? Would you want somebody who didn't even pay for a website and had a .wix website? Would you enter your credit card information and pay that person? Probably not. So you really want to just build trust. Even though these are investments, they're very low investments and there's so many cheap workarounds these days. The barrier to entry to become a freelancer is or any service-based business is so cheap compared to other online businesses that so many people are pursuing these days. So you have to keep that in perspective. I know I'm one of those people who I'm so frugal. So everything I invested in the beginning, I was like so nervous and like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because I was unemployed and I was not spending money on anything at that point. So it was a big deal for me to invest in the web hosting and the email, but take a chance on yourself, invest in yourself. And it is the best thing I ever did. And I would pay double the amount if I knew that it was going to turn into a full-time career the way it did. Now I'm so much more loose with investing in the technology that I need because I'm really trying to loosen up and invest in myself because I know it'll pay off in the end. Now, if you want to know the story about how I actually got on LinkedIn and built my freelance business step by step, you're going to want to download my LinkedIn guide below. I tell you a little bit about how I transitioned and replaced my 9-to-5 income with a freelance income. It's a free downloadable guide for you, and you can learn how to set yourself up on LinkedIn step by step. See ya.